Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Justin Michael, or if it's your first time, thanks for stopping by. I'm going to do a walkthrough of the Lilly Black Tarot by Melesville. And I'm also going to show you a few other decks I just got, a couple of quirky decks, and including one deck that I printed myself. So the Lilly Black is like the counterpart, a sister deck of the Lilly White, which was the more popular version of this deck. I happen to like the black, and I'm very glad I ended up with the black, but originally I wanted the white. But, the deck was sold out by the time I got around to purchasing it. And then, I mentioned that I was going to buy this, and somehow me and Mendy's paths crossed, and Mendy was looking to unload her deck, and I was looking to pick it up. So I was like, okay, well, let's make an exchange. So, I'm glad it was I didn't have to wait for it to come from France, so it was kind of easier that way. And this was practically brand new. Has a little flower in there from Mendy, but the box is very nice, very sturdy, very good quality. And the cardstock is really nice. It's almost plastic. I don't know if this is technically plastic cardstock or not. I don't own any plastic cardstock decks that I know of. It doesn't come with a book. It does come with this little kind of cheat sheet here. And I wish it came with more of a book, and I'll tell you why. But it's okay. I mean, I don't need it. I didn't want the book for the definitions, really. Some of the symbols in the deck I'll show you, would have been nice. But it has this black, like, kind of gilding. And it's not, like, metallic. It's, like, matte, It's really, really nice. It's jet black, and it has these really gold kind of pomegranate vines. They look like pomegranate vines. On the, it's like, gold stamping. I've been seeing pomegranates everywhere. In fact, Rachel, when I talked to Rachel Pollack in the interview last week, we had a nice conversation on pomegranates. And there's some pomegranates in this deck, and I really thought that was cool. So this is something I was a little disappointed with at first. I wasn't happy that there's the copyright on the front of the deck, and I do know the argument for the copyright. Obviously, there are a lot of decks being ripped off, and I have seen her Lenormand deck on the Wish site, for like $8 or something. She has a Lenormand. So I did see that there, and so I can understand she's been ripped off in the past. So probably a necessary thing, but that wasn't the only reason I was unhappy with it. I didn't really get it at first. It didn't look as kind of colorful as when I saw it. And again, I wanted the white initially anyway. But I'm sort of glad I got the black now, and I'm not looking to get the white, because I did hear that the white were getting a lot of fingerprints and dirt on it easily because the cards are so white. But that's just something I heard. But this is a great fool card. It's sort of like, a tree coming off the cliff, and it's like symbolizes growth, and all the fool kind of symbolism in there is just done in sort of a different way with nature, which I really liked. And there's a lot of really cool kind of symbolism in art all throughout this deck. For the Magician, for instance, you have the infinity symbol in there, and all cool like magician stuff. And this is something you obviously will have to sit with and contemplate all the symbolism. This was cool, the High Priestess with the pomegranate. And, pomegranate, like, Rachel was explaining, cool history, it's very important to the Jewish people, pomegranates. It's in Greek mythology with the story of Persephone. And Rachel always talks about with the High Priestess, the connection between Persephone and with the Shekinah, which she calls the Shekinah, the female aspect of God in Jewish tradition. So I really like that. I like the owl, which is like knowledge and wisdom, I suppose, on her shoulder. And you have like the polarities there with and the moon. This is really cool. The Empress, I like that. Very colorful, lots of flowers, very like kind of fresh take on the Empress, and very beautiful. And I love the pastel colors in this deck. And it just grew on me last night. I sat with this deck, and it just was something that was like, I was like, wow, this is really a beautiful deck, and I'm glad I got it. So I can live with the copyright on there. And actually, you know, it sort of fades away when you're looking at the art. It's not really noticeable. It's like, it's almost like you have to like unfocus on the art and like focus on the. It's strange how she did it, you know. And I don't know if it's by accident or what, but it sort of works out. Like, in other words, you can't really see the copyright when you're looking at the art. You have to sort of unfocus and look at the copyright itself. It blends in a way. So that was pretty cool. So there's the Hierophant. You have a book and the keys. You know, very, very interesting deck. All right, here's the Lovers. You have 2 trees. And so, you know, this is like my kind of deck lately because it's dealing with all the things that I'm thinking about. It's almost like synchronistic because I've been dealing with a lot of stuff with trees because of the Ohm and the pomegranate thing, and it just was pretty cool. And there's a lot of RWS in this deck as well, you know. So I thought that was pretty cool. And even though, I'll show you in a minute, here's Chariot, and then you have Justice as card 8. Like I said, even though Justice is card 8 and not Strength, I still see a lot of RWS, Rider-Waite-Smith in here a bit. Love this Hermit card too. It's really, really cool. But just beautiful. I'm going to really work with this deck because I didn't expect to like it so much. You know. There's the Strength card. Really nice style of art. Oh, and the Hangman too. Really nice. Interesting sort of death card. And we have Temperance. So I'm just going to pick up the pace just a little bit because I have a few decks to show you. And that's a pretty cool tower. You know, got lightning striking. Is that striking the antlers and the antlers fell off? Yeah, I didn't even notice. I didn't really pay much attention to that. Pretty interesting. Beautiful star card. I mean, the images in this deck are really beautiful. Sun. So for Judgment, you know, that's a bit different. You know, you have like a butterfly kind of rising up, and then we have the World. So we have the tree, the tree of life. You know, the star, or 6-pointed star. It's pretty interesting. Huh. So I'm going to show you the some of the minors now. I really like the minor arcana. The only thing is, it took a minute to really learn how the deck was set up. Especially, it didn't come to me organized. It was shuffled. So all the cards weren't in order. I don't know if I mixed them up or if many did. That doesn't really matter. It wasn't important to me. I don't organize every deck I sell, so wouldn't expect anybody else to. But I did notice that the number and the sword symbol are up there, and that's pretty self-explanatory. You know, 3 of Swords, because it's not immediately apparent like which card you're looking at first. So that's very helpful. But then when I got to the court cards, which I'm going to show you in a second, and that's a cool 6 of Swords. Instead of the boat, you sort of have a bridge with a doorway, you know, a tunnel going somewhere new or moving on from, you know, a situation. 7 of Swords. And the 8 of Swords. Again, the Ten of Swords is like a bit different. You know, it's a couple of swords stabbed into a bird skeleton, which same idea, you know. So now what threw me off was the court card. So you have, like, you're not going to know that's the page, but you have the heart there with the sword, and in the little booklet, and like I said, I think I mentioned this, I wish it would have came with a little more detailed book, because when you look at the court cards, for instance, it doesn't have the symbol next to it, and that would have been more helpful, because the heart isn't really apparent to me that that's a page, you know. I guess, you know, it's the feminine aspect of the court cards, like, you know, the feminine polarity, and maybe that's what the heart is about. You know, it's more that emotional kind of side, but, and then you have like a sun for the knight, but that didn't immediately make sense to me. I had to kind of piece it together, and you have the queen and the king, but I figured it out. I mean, it just would have been nice if there was something about it in the book. Love this Ace of Pentacles, man. It's really, really smart card, you know? Smart, some cool, like, symbolism in there. You know, that earthly growth. And then, like I said, there's some RWS in here, you know? It's in here. It's not immediately apparent, but it is here, and that's, you know, the Two of Pentacles. You know, it's like, it's very similar to the Rider-Waite-Smith, but then again, it's like that idea of like flowering, you know, like, you know, starting to break into two, you know, when a plant is growing. And then we have 3, which is actually more of a flowering. 3 is the flowering. 2 is like the, I don't know what you would call that, budding or something. I'm not really into gardening. 4 Pentacles. It's really, really beautiful deck, and I'm very glad I got it. I don't know, you know, sometimes you have to really sit with a deck to really appreciate it, and I just didn't really give it a chance at first, you know, until I actually sat with it, and I was like, you know, it's a really beautiful deck. I really look at the artwork. So, you know, I'm willing to forgive the copyright and all, because it turned out to be a really nice deck, and the card quality is really nice, and I think it is plastic. It feels plastic. I don't know if it is, but it's very matte. So I don't know if you would want to take these cards to the beach, or, you know, out in the rain or whatever, but they seem like they're kind of water resistant, maybe. I don't know. I really don't know, but they feel pretty good. And they definitely would riffle shuffle. If you're a riffle shuffler, I happen to not riffle shuffle. I'm just going to go a little faster here. I was originally not planning to show you all the minors, but I got this far, and with this kind of deck, you know, it's the art is so beautiful and different. Probably best that I do a full walkthrough of this. Love that. Love the fox, man. That's another thing I have a connection with lately is fox. So beautiful. I don't know, man. This is like turning out to be one of my favorites lately. This is I was pleasantly surprised at how taken I was by this deck. I mean, like I said, you know, you sit with something a little bit and you start to really appreciate it. Sometimes you don't, but, and it's such a nice deck, you know, it has this nice matte and just a really beautiful deck. So I will be using this a lot. I guess I'm going to show you a few other decks here. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I got this really cool little quirky deck today. Came in the mail. It's called the Gypsy Tarot Zigeuner, or the Zigeuner Tarot. And this is based on a historic deck. I don't know if it's exactly the same, but I was looking through that new book by Toshin on tarot. It's like the Library of Esoterica or something. And it's really a cool book. I don't have it handy, but and it has all these historic decks, and this was one of them. But it was like the original. This is by A.G. Muller, by the way. It comes in, I hope this isn't like a counterfeit, because I did get it on eBay. And the box is pretty plain, but it's nice and sturdy, and it does look like something that would be put out by AGM. So, pretty interesting. And then it has this sticker here, which says A.G. Muller, so it looks legit to me, but when you're getting something on eBay, and it's like a deck that's not really common, at least here in America, you're always taking a risk. So I'm going to open this up, and we're going to take a look at some of the cards. Good card quality. You know, it's typical kind of A.G. Muller. A little on the thin side, but nothing too bad. So I'm going to really focus in on this, because these are kind of busy and, you know, very, very cool looking, very different, you know, and I'm pretty sure there's some kind of like German influence in this. But I want you to really be able to see the art, so. It's very interesting. It's very like vintage and like retro looking, you know? See the little way. So that's the creator, Walter Wegmuller. Doesn't really have much in here. Okay, so these tarot cards were painted between 1968 and 74 by the gypsy painter Walter Wegmuller, who now lives in Basel and who has been involved with the symbols handed down by his forebears since his childhood. Even today, he can be seen on market days as a traveling salesman, a street artist, a storyteller, and a diviner. So that's pretty cool. So it's a very historic kind of deck. I really wasn't too familiar with the history of it, but I did see the art style, and it was like very unique and different. So I thought, you know, and I think I paid about $38 for this on eBay, brand new. So. It has the traditional German titles, but then it has the chariot and the French down at the bottom, so English and French looks like. Very cool. I wonder if this is yeah, it's a pip deck. Wow, that's really cool. Alright, so I'm just going to go a little faster here. Try and keep the whole image in there. I'll show you all the majors and some of the pips, but I'm going to go fast. Oh, leave your thoughts below. Does anybody have this deck? I haven't really seen too much about it, but I'll tell you what, that book by Toshin has already cost me a couple of bucks, I'll tell you that, because I've been searching for some of those decks. One thing I did find was that, you know, I sold Alexandra Janetti's, I think it was her first deck, you know. I have her, the current deck that she's selling on her website, I forget the name of it, but it's really, really cool. But this one was called Jumble Dance, and it's out of print. But I did go on the website, and I found out she's going to be printing it again. So that was pretty cool. You know, I was looking forward to that. I can't think of the name of her deck right now. Alexandra Janetti. She's sort of one of the original, you know, tarot people, deck creators. Been around a long time. Oh, come on. Now, see, she always has to photobomb. Come on, Dad. She wants attention. Give me a second. Always when I'm making a video. Yeah, so these are cool looking. So you have the 9 of Wands, the 8 of Wands. So it's a pip deck, you know? Sort of like a German kind of Marseille deck, almost. Interesting. So we got the court cards of the cups. Okay, so here's the court card of the swords, king, queen, knight, and the page. The swords. There's the ace of swords. Pentacles. Very interesting kind of art, you know. Here's some pentacles here. There's the Two of Pentacles. Really cool. I saw some Kabbalah and some Hebrew letters in there. I don't know if I showed you the backs, but those are the backs. This is a cool deck, man. It's different, a bit quirky, and it's definitely like a retro or vintage type of deck. I don't know if it's out of print or if they're still printing them. I don't know. It was published in 1982. There's the date, 1982, and they're printed in Belgium. So, you know, I'm going to show you this little project I've been working on. So, as you know, I've printed my own cards in the past. These are all copyright free. This is Yoav Ben-Dov's, his CBD tarot. Now, I only had the majors only because it was a bit of a challenge for me to do this, printing and all, but they were running a sale on color prints, and so I decided, well, I'm going to redo it. If you're interested in how I printed this, you can visit my video from way back titled How to Print Your Own Tarot Cards. What I didn't have was a comb bearer that was like full size, you know. So just to give you an idea, that's like a standard size tarot. These are gigantic. It's really a handful. Just to show you. But I just thought I would show these real quick. But the only thing is, I noticed that I didn't do too much work on Photoshop with these images. I sort of just printed them as they were. And the faces aren't as clear. I don't know if I have Yeah. I'll show you the Magician. So, you know, they're not blurry or anything. It's just the faces look much better. They're lighter, and they look much better in the smaller deck. I don't remember what I did exactly on Photoshop, but I enhanced it in some way. I just don't know what I'm going to do. But eventually I'm going to print a full size of this. So, again, if you want to learn how to do this, you can check out my video. So, but anyway, guys, I hope everybody's doing well. I'm going to do my first live this week at some point. I think with Chris from Elemental Cartomancy, and I have an interview coming up on Thursday, another interview in the style of Rachel with a surprise guest, so you can tune in for Friday morning. I think we're going to do it pre-recorded. Eventually my interviews are going to be live, but just until I get everything kind of situated, I'm going to stick with the pre-recorded interviews for now. But I am doing my first live sometime, I think Monday or Tuesday. I have to work it out. I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I don't want to, do a live when someone else is doing their live or at a bad time. So I have to kind of consult with all the Tarot Tube live experts that I know. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate it, and stay well. Bye-bye.